say shalom, shalom. You know, first and foremost, if I get started, I'm gonna give all honor and glory and power to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakodash. I want to say double honors to our elders, our great apostles, great ministers on GMS. All right, who rule well and teach well, being a great example to Israel. All right, I want to say man be elect. I want to say peace and blessings. All right, to the hope elect on the four corner, pushing the truth and sincerity. All right, that great song that you brought in the bar. All right, just come with another lesson. You know what I'm saying? Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Shai. As you can see, it's another video as inspiring you to continue in the faith. You know, as the Lord give us the will and the spirit, you know, to do these lessons. You know what I'm saying? To edify, to build up the elect in the time that's coming, man. All right, that we really gonna have to be geared towards our faith, towards Yahweh Shema Shai, man. We're gonna have to be sealed with a high earn. You know, in Yahweh Shema Shai and the trouble that we go through. But through this trouble, we must what? We must labor. We have to continue in the labor of Yahweh Shema Shai. But it's what? It comes with suffering. You know, you see these the other Israelite camps, they want the fame and the glory, you know, but they don't want to suffer. So they choose to sell out, you know what I'm saying, take the bag or teach other doctrine because along with the name of Yahweh Shema Shai, you know what I'm saying, suffering come with that. You know, so that's why you can see the other Israelite camps, they don't push the name heaven. You see that? Because what comes with the teaching of Yahweh Shema Shai? Persecution. As they did the prophets of old, man. The men of the Lord of old. You know? So Lord willing, I'm going to get into it. Your brother and sister be edified while they
Say peace to the beast, the Lord let us off the leash. Great multitudes.
It's a lot good. Good. But yeah, let me get this. First Timothy. All right, 4 and 10. And I got I got a couple precepts on laboring, and then we're going to suffering. And I'm just all summing up through the spirit. You know what I'm saying? So Lord willing, y'all brothers and sisters be edified while I let the law down, man. This is 1 Timothy 4 and 10. It said, for therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because trust in the living power, which is who Yahweh Shema Shai, who is the Savior of all men, and especially of those that believe. You see that? So here it is. Therefore, through labor, we both labor and suffer reproach. And when you go into that word reproach, it's really going to defame. Matter of fact, let me pull that up. Alright? It's going to defame. And one of the ways that you see these Israelite camp doing as they try to defame GMS is what, trying to put a bad name on us. Alright? But dealing with the polite situation, you see how the Lord come through on his promise. Because when the apostles and the elders and the bishops were false accused of these allegations that, you know, polite and others, you know what I'm saying, took on to, you know, come against the apostles with, what happened? The apostles kept teaching. You know what I'm saying? The apostles didn't get out of order. You know, they let the Lord defend for them. And you see what happened. All right, polite feeling the same what? The same water that he tried to put the apostles in. See, that's the power we have by Shema Shai. And these times that we coming into, all right, we're going to have the same mindset, all right, as Yahweh Shai. You know, he was falsely accused. You know, he was falsely persecuted. You see that? We be coming in that same manner. All right? And this is my friend, let me grab it. This is 2 Peter 3. All right, 2 Peter 3 and 3. It said, knowing this first, that there shall come in the last days, that we not living in the last days. All right? When it says scoffers, walking out their own lust. See, a nigga ain't scoffing, you know what I'm saying, Jesus, They ain't scoffing Muhammad. You know, they don't scoff the conscious community. You know, niggas scoff what? The name of Yahweh Shema Shah. You see that? But it's part of our labor that we must suffer. You know, that's why it go into let me grab that real quick. This is Second Esdras Second Esdras 15, so like, is it 9 to 7? No, it's 15. So like, this is Second Esdras 15, and okay, yeah, and 3. It said, "Fear not the imagination against thee." All right, that's part of the people walking out their own lust. All right, leaning to their own understanding. You see, and it says, "Fear not the imagination against thee. Let not the incredulity of them trouble thee." And the incredulity going to what? The unbelief. You see that? Because niggas be scoffing. You know what I'm saying? Bearing false witnesses. All right, but we can't let that trouble us, because that's what comes with serving Yahweh Shema Shah as we continue to labor. We got to labor and suffer. See that? That's part of the agreement. It said, "Trouble thee, they speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness." And that's what we have to keep in mind. All right, as we continue to go out on the highways and the hedges, you know what I'm saying, to prophesy, or we do lessons, sit down. All right, we got to keep this in mind. All the unfaithfulness is going to die, man, because they don't believe. All right, but it was given up to us. Remember, faith is a gift, man, and the gift came from Yahweh Shema Shah. All right, so let me go back into 1 Timothy 4 and 10. Because it says, "For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach." And God told you that reproach go back to what? Defame. All right, and I'm going to look that word defame up in the etymology. All right, defame. And it says, "Speak evil of." You see that? And when you look at the allegation against the apostles and the elders and the bishops, the great millstone, hey, niggas speak evil of them, man. All right, and it says, injure the reputation of, and that's what they trying to do. They try to ruin the reputation of GMS, man. Really and truly, Yahweh Shema Shah. All right, but this comes with the labor, all right, of Yahweh Shema Shah. These are things that we got to suffer, you know. But let me get Proverbs. Come on, going to these laboring, because really we got to understand what labor is, you know. So let's get Proverbs. All right, Proverbs 10 and 16. And it says, "The labor of the righteous tendeth to life." Why? Because when we out here on the highways and the hedges, you know, we doing lessons and sit down. That's part of us being in the vineyard. That's part of our labor. We working. Remember, faith without works is dead. You have to show your works by your faith, meaning what? You have to teach. You know, this part of it. So the labor of the righteous tended to life, because that's how you're going to receive salvation. All right? And it said, "The fruit of the wicked, what? To sin." You see that? Meaning what? They're going to be destroyed. All right? "He is the way of life that keep it instruction." And what is the instruction? The law, statutes, commandments. See that? And it says, "But he that refuses reproof, erred." All right? So here it is, going back to our labor. Let's get Proverbs 13 and 11. All right, and it said, "Wealth guided by vanity shall be diminished." And that's why I say, store your treasures up in heaven. All right, because when you think about the labor that we do for Yahweh Shema Shah, it's a form of a spiritual bank account. You know what I'm saying? But most individuals, they put they labor into this world, man. All right, labor to be successful. You know, labor to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist, you know, a basketball player. See, y'all people labor in vain, man, because why? This place is going to be destroyed, man, and everything in it. So that's why it says, Salakia, verse 11, it said, wealth gotten by vanity shall be diminished, but he that gathered by labor shall increase, and that labor and increasing is what us doing the work, man. All right, remember that vineyard, all right, that we working for that penny. The penny is what is known as the kingdom of heaven. All right, so let me continue in this labor. This Ecclesiastes 2:11. It says, then I looked on all the works that my hands have wrought, and this King Solomon, and on the labor that I labor to do, and behold, all was vanity and vexation of spirits, and there was no profit under the sun. You see that? So when we labor in the heavens. If I can say, us what storing our treasures up. All right. It said, and I turned myself to behold wisdom and madness and folly. But what can a man do that cometh after the king, even that which has been already done? So it said that moth or rust can corrupt, and a thief can come through and steal. So why your energy and your time and your laboring is in Babylon? You see that? Your laboring is supposed to be you doing the work, making your body a living sacrifice, man. All right? For the hoping of your salvation. You know, that's why King Solomon like, shit, all that shit is vanity because I can't even take it with me. All right? But if you do this labor as in teaching, all right, guess what? It's going to be accounted for. And you're going to receive, all right, your spiritual investment. You know? So let's get John. Let's get John 6:27. These just a couple precepts I wrote down dealing with labor. All right, and it says, labor not for the meat which perish, but for the meat which endure unto everlasting life. You see that? And this the meat that we speaking of is what the scriptures. All right, and it says, which the Son of Man shall give unto you, for he have the Most High, the Father's seal. You see that? So it says, in fact, let me get this 1 Corinthians real quick. All right, this is 1 Corinthians 15:58. All right, and it says, it's like, therefore, beloved brethren, be ye steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of the Lord. For as much as ye know that your labor is not in vain in the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah. You see that? So us continue to go out and do the work, teach, you know, prophesy, you know, do sit down. Guess what? It's not in vain. You see that? It's not in vain, man. All right. As here it is, we signed up for this. As in the Lord said, you have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. But look at it in the spiritual eye. All right, it's like we signed up for this. As you go get a job, and it's got on the application, you know, you gotta be able to lift 50 pounds. You gotta be able to do this and that. Guess what? You are laboring. All right, because at the end of that week, you want to see your paycheck, right? You want to see some, you know, some money, right? Because of your labor. That's us in the truth. All right, we gotta be able to abstain and go through these things. All right, we gotta accept these things. All right, and guess what? The Lord gonna give us our reward, man. And the main reward that we looking for is what? Salvation. But it's come through what? Laboring and suffering. All right. So let me guide this Matthew real quick, and then I'm gonna go into the suffering in our labor. So this Matthew, all right, 20:1. And it says, for the kingdom of heaven is like unto a man that is a householder, which went out early in the morning to hire laborers into his vineyard. And when he have agreed with the laborers for what? A penny a day, he sent them into the vineyard. And he went out about the third hour and saw others standing idle in the marketplace, and said unto them, Go ye also into the vineyard, and whosoever is right I will give you. And they went their way. And again he went out about the sixth and ninth hour and did likewise. So this basically like, brother that's coming to the truth. We all got our set point of time. The Lord bring us out of that darkness to his marvelous light, man. Which is us receiving the understanding and going out to prophesy. Basically the Lord waking us up. We all got our time that the Lord woke us up, man. Our specific time. So it said, and about the 11th hour, he went out and found another standing idle, and said unto them, Why stand ye here all the day idle? They said unto him, Because no man had hired us. He said unto them, Go ye also in the vineyard, and whosoever is ripe, that shall ye receive. All right. So when even was come, when even was come, the Lord of the vineyard, all right, said unto his steward, Call the laborers and give them their hire, beginning from the last until the first. And when they came that was hire about the 11th hour, they received every man his penny. All right, and remember that penny that we working for is what? Salvation, man. All right, it said, but when the first came, they supposed that they should have received more, that they likewise received every man what? A penny. Hold on, select it. That's crazy, them motherfucker. Alright. So basically that penny represents the kingdom of heaven, man. Alright, as we continue to labor, week in and week out, in season, out of season, alright? So let's go back into 1 Timothy 4:16. And it says, so like 4:10. But it says, For therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the living power. You see that? So Isaiah 59:15. You see that? It said we suffer reproach, all right, because we trust in the living power. We know what Yahweh Shema Shah. So Isaiah 59:15 say, Yea, truth felleth, and he that depart from evil making himself a prey. You see that? And it says, and the Lord Yahweh saw it, and it to please him that where it was no judgment. All right, so when you depart from evil, when you depart your mindset out of Babylon, you become a target. All right, you start to be looked upon as wicked, as in the word reproach going to defame. They start to talk about you, look at you a certain way. They did Yahweh Shema Shah that way, man. And matter of fact, let me grab that. All right, this is Matthew 5:11. All right, this is Matthew 5:11, and it says, Blessed are ye when men shall revive you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely, for what? My sake, the name of Yahweh Shema sake. All right, we see that as the other Israelite camps. All right, following the priests, the apostles, and the elders and the bishops. All right, of things they have not done. Even I got a fucking I call him a sucker. So even though I got a fucking scoffer, man, nigga add me to everything. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even know him, and I ain't did nothing to him. But it's for what? The name of Yahweh Shema Shah. He don't like me. You see, but the Lord said, Blessed are ye, because we don't speak out our own ass. We don't come with our own doctrine. We don't speak the precepts of man. We speak the whole truth and nothing but the truth, and hope Yahweh Shema Shah be with us, man. All right. So it said rejoice. So we have to rejoice in these things, man. We can't. That's why I say, be not afraid of the incredulity. Don't let it trouble you. Because why? We have to rejoice, man. We understand that they will come with the laboring of Yahweh Shema Shai. We got to suffer persecution. We gotta suffer false allegations. You know what I'm saying? We got to keep our head towards that mark. And that mark is what? The kingdom of heaven. So it says, blessed are ye when men shall revive you and persecute you. Because here it is, time is coming. We're going to be deemed as what? Terrorists, bad men. You know, we already deemed like rapists, but it's going to get even worse as time progresses to the end times. All right? The people that used to work with you, they're going to see you on the news or something. They look at you all sideways. It's going to be a lot, but you got to be able to hold it in. You got to keep your integrity. You see that? So that's why the Lord said rejoice, man. Because I also remember when things like this happen, you are doing something good. Alright? Remember that. So it said rejoice and be exceedingly glad. For great is your reward in what? In heaven. Remember, as we continue to labor, we storing our treasures up in heaven. Alright? Not on earth. You see that? So great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. So we look at Isaiah, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, you know, John, you know, Matthew, Luke, even Yahweh Shai. You go to Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. See, the forefathers of old, they persecuted. Apostle Paul. All right? But guess what? We have entered into their labor. You know, let me get that too. This is John, all right, 4:38. So that's why I say ain't nothing new under the sun. The same thing was going on back then is going on now. You see that? So this is John 4:38. It said, I sent you to reap that whereon you bestowed no labors. Other men's labor, right? And ye have entered into what? Their labors. See that? So we entered into the apostles' labor. All right? As we enter into the apostles of old labors. You see that we're still doing the same thing, going out what? Prophesying the downfall of this wicked ass kingdom, as in Jeremiah, it's like it's Jeremiah 28:8, as the prophets of old prophesied against many countries. So when you know they was out there prophesying, they had a lot of fight back, so to speak, a lot of resistance. You see that as when what? As today, we got a lot of resistance, man. Our people do not want this place to be destroyed. Our people are comfortable here. They wish Babylon could be here. You see that? So we enter into their labor to do what? The same thing, to prophesy, man. All right? But with labor will come what? Suffering. We have to suffer. That's in Sirach 2:1. If thou come to serve me, what? Prepare thy soul for temptation. That temptation going through trials, and trials equal up to what? Suffering, man. Okay? So let's get this Matthew 11 and 18. And it says, because this is an example. All right? As like, oh, that's beautiful. All right? This is beautiful. This is beautiful. All right, this is Matthew 11, and I'm going to start at 15. It says, he that have an ear, let him hear. All right? Now, he that have ears to hear, let him hear. But whereunto shall I liken the generation? It is like children sitting in the marketplace and calling to their fellows, as us going out prophesying. All right? It says, and saying, we have piped unto you, but ye have not danced. Because why? We singing that new song, but song cannot get the tune. You know, like a static in the ear. You know what I'm saying? So here it is. We have piped up to them, but what? They have not danced. Right? I mean, they don't get it. We have mourned unto you as we continue to cry. You know what I'm saying? Crying out loud, sparing not. You know, it says, you have not lamented. For John neither came eating nor drinking. They say he have the devil. You see that? So the same way, you know, back then they scoffing and mocking, you know, bearing false witness. They were like, shit, John a fucking devil. But then it said the Son of Man came eat and drinking. And they say, behold, a man glutton and a winebibber, a friend of the publican and sinner, but wisdom justified their children. You see that? So Men is going to speak evil of you, but guess what? You have to rejoice in that. You know, because the understanding is what you doing what's right, man. You teaching the 100% truth. You're not trimming your ways to seek love, and that's a burden on Israel, man. All right, because that's a Babylonian mindset, and that's a Babylonian feeling. You know what I'm saying? You trim you don't tell the person the truth. You lie to them and sugarcoat it. You know what I'm saying? That's a Babylonian trace, man. The scriptures say what? Spare not. You know, why trimming thy ways to seek love? You don't supposed to spare a person. You're supposed to tell them the truth, man. You know, and therefore what? They're gonna start to hate you. You know what I'm saying? Disown you. But it's part of what the labor and the suffering of Yahweh Shema Shah. Alright, and let me grab this. And I'm gonna close on this. I think my phone died, so I'm gonna close on this. This is a rock. Alright, 23 and 27. Matter of fact, let me get that let me read that 1 Timothy one more time, and then I'm gonna jump into that. Alright, this is 1 Timothy 4 and 10 again. It says, for therefore we both labor and suffer reproach, because we trust in the what? The living power. Alright? Who is the Savior of all men, especially those that believe. Because all Israel is going to be saved, but those that believe is going to be saved on this side. Alright? Those that believe is not going to taste the second death. Alright? But in all Israel is going to be saved. That's Isaiah 45:17. Alright? We're going to have a world without end, man. You know? But let me get this a rock. Alright, 23 and 27. And it says, and they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of the Lord. You see that? How you gonna remain? And when as you continue to labor, as you continue to endure all things for the elect's sake. Alright, because it said through patience possess what? Your soul, man. So we labor and we suffer the reproach because we believe in Yahweh Shema Shah. But guess what? It's a reward that come with that. You know, it's a reward that come with our laboring. It's a reward that come with our suffering. All right, and that's salvation. But guess what? It said, and they that remain shall know that there is nothing better than the fear of Yahweh Shema Shah. You see, it's no better, you know, understanding than that. And it says, and that there is nothing sweeter than to take heed unto the commandments of Yahweh Shema Shah. You see that? It is great glory to follow the Lord and to receive of him in a long life. But how can you do that? You got to continue to what? In your laboring. You got to continue to endure the suffering. Because 1 Peter, this is one of my favorites, 1 Peter 4:1. And it says, for as much then as Yahweh shall suffer for us in the flesh, because he had to labor. You see that? He was on a mission. Did he not say, I'm about my father's business? All right, he was laboring. You know? So he said, for as much then as Yahweh shall have suffered for us in the flesh, yourself likewise with the same mind. So we got to finish. You know, we got to be able to say, it is done. You see that? But we got to suffer that what? That reproach. Or to make it to say it is done, it is finished. And a lot of people is starting to give up at the last minute. We too late in the game to give up. You got to keep fighting, man. Like, who gives a fuck? You know, understand, all right, the Lord is going to come through on his promise. This little chastisement is but for a moment. Because it's not what compared to what the Lord have in store for those that believe and those that figure how about Shema Shah. But we got to what? We got to endure these things. So it said, for as much then as Yahweh shall suffer for us in the flesh, yourself likewise with the same mind. For he have suffered in the flesh, I cease from sin. You see that? So that's our resting place, man. All right? So Lord willing, y'all brothers and sisters edified. All right, so next time, say Shalom. Abba Bob, Raka Akim. Hey, DTA, baby.